The year is 2017. Red Tribe Link, also known as Joash, would enter into a random theme quest competition with the game Grinding Mushroom, as is befitting of its theme. This was a simple game. It had 3 dungeons and a few unique gimmicks here and there. However, due to its time constraints, there were improvements to be made, especially given the fact that the final dungeon or final boss were never implemented. Some people wondered when this quest would be done, and even Joash himself would say that it'd be done in around a month or so, because all it needed were just a few improvements and a final dungeon, and that would be that. However, as the years went by, nothing came about. To this day, Grinding Mushroom never met its place in the database. And shortly after that, Red Tribe Link had vanished. He would eventually come back in 2019 briefly to release the slipstream, only to then disappear again. But then he returned with the Deep in 2024. However, this does lead us to that one unanswered question. Where is Grinding Mushroom? Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Project Shrooms. So, a while back, probably a little more than a year ago at this point, I looked back at Grinding Mushroom and I was like, you know what? This wouldn't take that long to finish. I could probably just go in there and maybe do a little bit of redesign, touch up some things, fix some bugs, make a new dungeon, have a final boss, all that. Well, let's just say I've gone completely overboard on adding stuff. So you might notice it's not called Grinding Mushroom anymore. At the moment, we're calling it Project Shrooms. Well, we'll get more to that a little bit later. So let's go over a few things in the quest itself. So you will soon come to find out that many areas have had complete redesigns, including the university that has many more things you can discover there. You will get to see a plethora of these areas get completely new coats of paint, and also new things to explore and to do there. This is probably my favorite redesign here. Next, I would like to showcase the Bonk Boots. These replace the short-range hookshot from the original game. These boots are inspired by the Pegasus boots in A Link to the Past, when you use the Pegasus boots to dash into a wall and bonk off of them. However, these boots are inspired by that very mechanic here, so you can use these bonk boots to bonk off of different objects, to cross gaps, or to get to various places you couldn't get to before. So this is the tunic shop. So you can unlock various different colored tunics in this game. And these tunics do not give you any kind of defense upgrade, but they are here simply for the purpose of cosmetic changes. So you can have different colors for your adventure. and they not only change the color of your tunic, but they also change the color of parts of your subscreen. So you can see even on the information screen there that it also changes that as well. If you want to decorate yourself in not only a fancy looking tunic, but also a fancy looking subscreen, there you go. Here is one other thing in terms of redesigns. I'm gonna show you guys a number of caves that were in the original Grinding Mushroom game. We're going to scroll through some of these caves. So here's a cave. There's a cave. Oh, there was another cave too. There's a cave. There's a cave. There's another cave. There's another cave. Yes, those caves look exactly the same. That is not a joke. You might notice that a lot of those caves are the same. Now, to be fair, when these were originally made, it was during a 2-week quest contest, so I didn't have much time to put that much detail into the caves. So what do the caves look like now? That's right, the caves have gotten a complete overhaul. And we not only have different caves, but we have a whole cave system now. As we wrap up our presentation for today, I want to give you guys an idea of the scope of this game as it is now. So this is a graph of the original Grinding Mushroom and what it contained. The original had 3 dungeons and no final boss. Now, the original plan for this game was to add another dungeon and add another final boss. Well, as you can see from this current graph right here, we now have 4 dungeons and a final boss in play, along with several other mini dungeons. However, as I mentioned before, I went above and beyond what I originally planned, and it went from a very simple touch-up here and there to I have done a full overhaul of the game. Because of this, believe it or not, this is actually not the entire scope of the game. How about I show you the real scope of the game? That's right. The final game will have 8 dungeons and will be broken up into 2 acts. And as I have said before, this game is actually not going to be called Grinding Mushroom. But it also is not going to be called Project Shroom either, but we'll get to that in just a second. Each of these acts are inspired by a previous project. As you can probably guess already, Act 1 is inspired by Grinding Mushroom and is basically built off of that. But what about Act 2? What is going to be the setting of Act 2? What project is it based off of? Well, it is based off of none other than another long-forgotten project of mine. It is none other than Lost Identity DX. Now, just to be clear, the original story and scope I had in mind of the original Lost Identity DX is not necessarily present in this game. What you're seeing here is you're seeing 2 of my projects being combined into one completely brand new story. And as this is all one game with one story, it has its own name, right? What is the actual name of this quest? It's not Grinding Mushroom. It's not Project Shrooms. It's not Lost Identity DX, surely. And no, it is not Lost Grinding Mushroom Identity DX either. What is the true name of this quest?